the Andoer underwater video light. Got one right here in the box still. This is called Sea Frog on the box. So call it the Sea Frog underwater video light. If you go on the internet, Amazon, other sites, you'll see all the information about this light. You'll see it apart, you'll see the inside, you'll see everything you need to know. What I'm going to do is a product review of this. We'll call it a mini product review. And I'm going to tell you the why I bought 2 of these Sea Frog lights. And I'm going to give you some information you may find interesting if you're going to buy the Sea Frog and if you already own a Sea Frog. Now, before we get into this why, I have 2 video cameras here, underwater video cameras. And these underwater video cameras come in a lot of different capabilities, distinct features, sizes, and a lot of different price ranges. But they all have one thing in common. It's this little SD card. They all use it. Now, back in the day, 45 years ago in the past, we used 16mm film here. We went out and did our filming, took it out, sent it off. We'd have to wait 5 days, a week, 2 weeks before we got the film back to see what we filmed. Well, with this 16mm film and the little SD card, which is what makes video convenient today, you just take it out, throw it in your camera, and you can look at it. Well, what they both have in common is you need underwater lighting to bring out your subject matter when you're doing underwater video or filming. And that's where the Sea Frog, the Andoer underwater video light comes in. Okay, now on my last trip to the Philippines, I used this UK light, and it runs for a long time, has a fair amount of lumens, but I got to put a diffuser on it. It's heavy, 8C batteries or the rechargeable battery. 2 of these things are heavy. They restricted my maneuverability. They needed flotation. I got back, I was looking for something more compact, something that had some run time for a full dive. It had some lumens and it had a diffuser. I've seen a lot of lights on the market, but none of them had or used 2 lithium batteries. And this light uses 2 lithium batteries, which is going to give me the full power I need for a dive. So that's a couple of the reasons why I've got the Sea Frog. Now, I'll tell you something. I was on that last trip and I did a night dive, and with these powerful lights right here, I had some subject matter rise up into the darkness in the water column. I looked at my video and it turned out I would burn them out, so that's another reason I need something with a couple thousand lumens that'll have a diffuser on it that'll capture that subject matter. I'll show you a little video, less than a minute here, and I'll show you what we're talking about. Okay, I'll show you the subject matter washed out, and I'll show you the subject matter with a few thousand lumens diffused. Let's take a look at it, then we'll get back to this product report and some why. I showed you a video there with subject matter with a lot of lumens and subject matter with a couple thousand lumens diffused. And we see on this box we got a bunch of diffusers inside here and other equipment. Let's take a look at it and see what's going on with the Sea Frog. Here's our bag of accessories. They're all visible on Amazon and other websites. We've got the diffusers all here with, then give you different effects. We've got the data sheet that tells you everything you want to know right there. Now we have the light. Let's take a look at this. It comes in bubble wrap. Feels like it's pretty sturdily built and can handle some rough treatment. We see a lens right now, and what we're looking at is a lot of LEDs. Now this is going to be real important because this is going to give you an even spread of light without any, like you see these shadows you see here, any of these little mini dark spots that are going to, some problems with your image when you're doing video. The front of it looks like it's got a flange with a series of screws holding it in, probably backed up by an O-ring. It's got heat sinks all around here to cool it off. What's really great about this piece of equipment is on both sides of it, we've got places for mounting brackets to attach. Now, I didn't realize that when I bought this unit, how convenient this would turn out to be. Because when I first mounted it, I mounted it like this one over here. So to get to that button, I had to reach around here to turn it on. Well, then I found out I could mount it like this, and the button was outboard. Now, if you're mounting one on your camera, and you want two of them, like I've got, and you want to have one down and one up, you want to be able to reach up and turn them both on and off and do whatever you want to do without any restrictions or problems. That really come out handy, and I didn't realize it till I got it out and mounted them. For this mount, it seems to assemble mount by going in this way. It locks in there. And I use one of these units I got, take the screw out, and to make these things fit, they both have acorn nuts. So I took this one right here, and if you see the acorn nut, I don't know if the light shows it to you. What I did is I got a pair of pliers, pulled that acorn nut off, then I took a hacksaw and I cut that little shoulder off. And when I cut that shoulder off, then it worked fine with this bracket. Now, it has another bracket that comes here. This bracket's got indexing on it, so when you lock it, it stays in position. It fits on the other side right here, just snaps in there. It's got a bayonet mount, it's got a 1/4-20 and everything you want if you want to just mount it on your camera. Now, the bracket I end up using, because this one here is higher, this is higher than this bracket, I wanted to keep it even with this, so I use this bracket here. Let's see, listen here. Snaps in there. If we look at it, we'll see it's got a little tab that sticks up here and locks it. So either bracket you use, you've got your camera securely fit. Now, if we look over here, I don't know if the light will show you that blackness, but we've got a little place to stick your finger in here and unsnap it. Now, on the other side, it's got a hinge. So I was curious about how well this was putting pressure on the O-ring, because if it was even. So I got a 1.5 thousandths filler gauge here, and I ran it down there, and it feels like it's got an even fit all the way down it. And the same thing over here. It's got a real nice machine fit, so it's making good contact. It's getting good pressure against the O-ring. So let's go ahead and open this thing up. It's real simple. There, she's opened. We'll open her up. Now, you can take a look at this, at the O-ring right here, okay? You'll see the O-ring, and you'll see a little indent here to hold the O-ring in place. That's another good feature. It's got some foam rubber here to put pressure against the batteries. And this O-ring will probably last for the life of the, made out of polyethylene, I would guess. But it'll probably last the life of the unit. The other cameras I have over here, I've opened them things near 75 or 100 times with the same O-ring. No problem. Real ring. If you have this and use it underwater, make sure you don't get any foreign matter on that O-ring or sand or dirt or anything, because it will leak then. Now we got it open. Let's take a look at the batteries here. They come in a plastic seal for the shipping charge. And we have a USB port that plugs in here. This is really great because what I can do now is I don't have to take an extra charger with me. I'm currently carrying about 8 different chargers for my batteries. So this way we've got the charger built in, we don't have that problem. Now the other end of this USB port cable, you'll need one of these gadgets right here. I bought it on Amazon, maybe Walmart, maybe Best Buy. It's got a connection that goes in here. And I've used this all over the Philippines, this fork receptacle, and I haven't had any problems anyplace else. I've used it all over. But if you're going to Europe or South America, you might find a European plug, you might need a different adapter. Now we'll take the batteries out and we'll take the packing off, because they're supposed to be shipped with a charge and they put packing on them so they don't make contact. That button should be, control switch should be hit during shipping, and could short out the batteries and after running for a long time and cause a fire or some sort of hazard. Okay, got the batteries in there. They give you an easy to see scribed in plus and minus location, so you won't get them in there incorrectly. And it snaps shut real nice. So there we go. We got the batteries in it. Let's check it out and see if we have a what they call a shipping battery charge. Okay, there we go. We know we got a shipping battery charge. Looking down here, except from the shadows I have here, we're getting really even distribution of the light. Really great piece of equipment. And we have a low power, and we have an emergency. If we look at this thing over here, on this side, we have a real nice slot for installing our diffusers. They slide in here and they snap into place. They've even made a little indexer, so once it's in there, it holds in real well. Let's take a look at this diffuser here and see how it works. And what I'm seeing here, I don't know if you can see it, but I'm used to, when I used to do underwater filming, I was used to 3400 Kelvin. Let's take a look at this other diffuser we have here. It's pretty much pink or red. Indexes in nicely. Okay, you can see pretty much the red tint, the warmth coming out there. And if you see, we'll see even with this one here, we're getting pretty much coverage, pretty wide angle flow of light. And we'll try out our last diffuser. If you have a dye bag with you, carry these diffusers, and go ahead and change them when you're diving. Okay, there we are. Pretty much coverage all over the place. Let's try something else here. Let's try and remove this thing. See, we're not losing any real lumens with this clear one. I kind of favor the 6000, and that's what we'll probably be using, is the clear one, because I'm not losing much lumens and I'll have more run power. I'm going to use this light primarily for my primary light for night diving until I find subject matter. Then I'll be using the other lights, or I'll just use these with a diffuser. What I did is I put this in a bucket of water, and I found out it floated up a little bit. So to get it flat, I put a little weight on here. Now in seawater, it'll float up a little bit more, probably be a little bit more positive, but that'll be real fine with me, because I've been dragging around a lot of heavy lights, and the less weight I have to deal with underwater, the more positive it is, the better. To check out my run time, I took this light meter here, and I turned it on, and I checked my lumens. And I found out that after 30 minutes of run time, I lost 1/3 of my lumens. Then I found out after 1 hour, I lost 2/3 of my lumens. Well, that isn't too good. Spec sheet here says 120 minutes. Okay, so it's not the light, it's the battery. So we got this scale here. Let's bring it over here and set it where you can, I think you can see what it says here. Turn it on. Okay, we're at grams. Okay, we zeroed it out. We'll put this battery here. It's out of this light. It says an 1865 battery. A 2000 milliamps, 3.7 volts. Maybe you can see that, maybe not. Let's check it out. Okay, there's our problem. 35 grams. We should be getting 45 grams. Now, if you go to a website on YouTube here, DIY Tech and Repair, he'll tell you all about these batteries. He's got a spreadsheet showing you the amperage after the amperage he got out of different batteries he tested. And from other research I did on the YouTube, I found out that the Japanese manufacturers were the best batteries, and those batteries came out at 45 grams. That's what you want here. It's 45 grams to get the run time that it specifies in in the spec sheet here. And so I've ordered all Japanese batteries that are going to be 45 grams for all my lights. So that's something you might check out. And if you, well, I would say if you buy it without the batteries, you'd be better off. Go ahead and order the Japanese batteries. Make sure we got 45 grams and you should get what you need. So that pretty much covers it. I'm going to install this and we'll give you one more view of it. As you can see, I have the other Andoer underwater video light sea frog mounted. Now, if you found this video interesting and informative, please subscribe to my YouTube channel.